The Beat 139. Featuring Doc, Don Vito, and Keith Cash. Harlem's number one show.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. How are you today, sir?
Quite well. Great speaking with you.
Good to see you. It's been a while. So I know you're a busy man. So let me ask you a question. So I've been, watching a lot of your television interviews and stuff like that you do in the community. And one thing that stands out to me is you keep saying that numbers don't lie. Can you touch on that?
Well, I'm a thing that when you look at the success of an administration, you have to look at certain indicators that you're judged by. You're judged by housing, how safe the city is, unemployment level, what the professional bond raters say about how they represent the city. What are you doing about making the city safer, not only in crime, but also in things like traffic fatalities and others? And how do you lift up low-income, working-class people? And so if you use that as an announcement, number one, let's look at public safety. We have seen in the last 5 quarters, 1 quarter is 3 months, we have seen in the last 5 quarters decrease in crime. The last quarter, the lowest number of shootings in recorded history. The second lowest number of homicides in recorded history. We removed over 21,005 illegal guns off our streets. We're watching decrease in 7 major crime categories, which you judge the state of the city. And then when you look at the economy, we turned around the economy coming from COVID. We have more jobs in New York in the history of our city. We actually broke the record 11 times. We decreased unemployment among all New York, but specifically, we decreased it by 20% for Black and brown New Yorkers. Then when you look at housing, we have developed, financed more affordable housing in individual years in the history of the city. We passed the most comprehensive housing reform called City of Yes. When you look at moving people from homelessness to permanent housing, we broke the record doing that. We have a program that subsidizes housing that's called FEPS vouchers. We've had more people use those vouchers in homes than the history of the program. Then you look at how we've lifted up low-income New Yorkers. NYCHA, they were having problems getting access to high-speed broadband. We have provided free high-speed broadband for every NYCHA resident. We included NYCHA in our housing plan. That has never been done before. Look at our young people. 100,000 summer jobs, never done before. 110,000 in our Summer Rising year-round food program, never done before. A Saturday Night Lights program, keep our children safe during the summer months and on the weekend. Invested in foster care children, repaying their college tuition, and giving them a stipend and a life coach to their 21. And one of the things I'm so proud about is our Money in Your Pocket series. We're putting $30 billion back in the pockets of working class people. Everything from paying off medical debt, which is the number one cause of bankruptcy, to reduce fare Metro cards, lowering the cost of child care from $220 a month to less than $20 a month. And so there's just so many numbers that says the noise is not showing what the numbers are showing. We turned this city around, and I'm really proud of what we have accomplished.
And the reason why I asked you that question is because the people in the community need to hear these numbers, and they need to hear you talk about it, because a lot of people in the community, don't hear this stuff, and we want to get you on the show so the people in our communities can hear this stuff, so they can know the great job that you're doing as mayor.
Well said, brother. And think about this for a moment. You would pick up the papers and you would think that this city is out of control. You would think crime ridden, the subways are unsafe, that nothing good has happened in the city. And it's not like they started attacking this administration after I was 2 years or 3 years in. Go look at the first stories, January 2nd, January 3rd, January 4th, in 2022 when I first became mayor. They never thought we could turn around the city, and they attacked us from the beginning. There was a clear mission that this man should never be reelected, and we're going to constantly come at him. They came at me during COVID. They came at me when 230,000 migrants and asylum seekers came here. And then they came after me with that bogus indictment that they charged me with. And so, someone stepped to me the other day and they said, Eric, if you didn't do anything wrong, the federal government would have never come at you. And you know what I told them? I said, tell that to Malcolm family. Tell that to Dr. King's family. Tell that to the Black Panther. Tell that to Mawango Karenga, who started the Husky. Tell that to the Young Lords, our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters. There's a long history, but you don't even have to go back that far. Tell that to Brian Benjamin, who's the highest black in the state. And they brought him up on bogus charges, destroyed his career, then dropped the charges after they smeared his name. We need to be honest with ourselves. The federal government has a long history of going after a black and brown, and Brian and I is the latest too. We're the us movement, the Black Panther movement, the Malcolms of the day. And so we know we have to be always ready for the attacks, but in spite of the attack, I still move this city forward.
So as far as the election that's coming up, a lot of people are saying that they don't see the mayor campaigning and stuff like that. What's your take on that?
Think about this for a moment. What is campaigning? Campaigning is going on TV talking about your success. Campaigning is visiting all the different locations in churches and communicating. Campaigning is showing people why they should vote for you. They bought into the narrative that came from the legacy media, and now they're repeating it. That's one thing about black folks, man. We hear the narrative by others, and then we start repeating it. Every day that I work for the people is showing why I should be reelected. That's what campaigning is. Campaigning is saying, why should you be elected or reelected? I'm showing that every day. Now, what they're not showing you is that those who they consider to be the frontman of the Democratic Party, where is he? He shows up at church on a Sunday, a well-organized environment. He's not among the people. He doesn't talk to reporters. That's what you should be asking. Is he campaigning for the job, or he just believes he's supposed to walk into the job? So every day I'm out here among the people, working hard for New Yorkers. So I want to tell our folks, stop repeating the narrative that other people give you. Your mayor is among the people every day, and most importantly, I'm one of the people. I'm just a working class, blue collar mayor. I was the first probably union member ever to become a mayor in the city of New York. And that's what we should be focusing on. Am I delivering every day for the city? And I have been.
Mr. Mayor, I've been raised in this city all my life, and you are the first mayor that I saw or seen who had boots on the ground on a regular. Let's talk about that.
Because it's important to me. I made a commitment when I ran for office, and I really challenge people to go look at what I ran on. Look at how I talked about I was going to do dyslexia screening in our schools. I did that. So 30% of the inmates at Rikers Island won't be dyslexic. I ran on making sure that I brought down crime. I did that. We took over 80,000 ghost cars and illegal vehicles off our streets that were being used in crimes. I ran on improving our educational system. Our children are outpacing the state in reading and math. We changed the reading curriculum so our children can learn phonetics and their reading. And so I ran on improving housing. We did that. And so I ran on what I promised I was going to run on, and I also ran on being accessible. And brother, I'm on the street talking to everyday New Yorkers, going to our beauty salons, our hair salon, our churches, and our daycare centers, our senior centers. What I ran on, I'm producing. And I think that what happens, because people are jaded when it comes down to politics, that they don't even realize, hey, this brother is doing exactly what he said, and he's still accessible. You know, when you call me and say, Eric, come hop on the show so we can talk, I'm gonna do that. I hop on all these local talk shows and interact with people every day because I am them. I'm very comfortable around everyday working class people because that's who I am. I'm not the insider. I'm the outsider. And a lot of insiders wished I never became mayor because he never voted for me. But the working class people of the city made me the mayor, and that's who I'm beholden to.
And speaking on the election, see, a lot of these guys are campaigning that I see on promises they're making, but you're actually showing the work of what campaign is by being out there and doing your job as a great mayor. That's what we see at the B139.
And everyone, when you're running for office, everyone promised. You hear Andrew Cuomo state he did something called Tier 6, which hurt the retirement for working class people. He just ran stating that he's going to reverse what he did. He's going to reverse the criminal justice reform that allow criminals to come back on our streets. He said he's going to work to reverse that. So I am fixing the problem he created, and now he's running and said he's going to reverse the problems that he created. And the same with the other candidates. They're all talking about what they're going to do, how they're going to spend money. There's a minimum amount of money you have in the city budget. And you could say you want to spend and buy everything, but as any person that runs the household knows, those are all idle promises. Running a city of this complexity and dealing with the challenges that come up throughout the race, from COVID to migrants to crime to funding issues, you have to be able to manage the city. And so don't take my word for it. There are professionals that analyze cities and make a determination of how well cities are doing. They're called bond raters. They either increase or decrease your bond. They increased my bond because how well I have run the city. So these are the professionals that are matching what I'm saying and matching what the numbers are saying.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, one more question to you. How you feel about them New York Knicks tonight?
Gotta love it, brother. You know, I think when infused the feeling of everything is possible into the spirit of the team were those two games against Boston where they came back from 20-point deficits. I think that was something that gives you the energy. You know, as a sports fan, I know you are aware that the tide can change and the tide can turn based on actions. And I think the tide turned. We're going to go all the way on this one. And I'm excited about it. And it's the resiliency and the spirit of New Yorkers. Don't ever count us out. We never give in. We never surrender. Nothing personifies that more than what I have represented to the city. You know, listen, I'm a young man that came up from South Jamaica, Queens, struggling with learning disabilities that was undiagnosed. Many people counted me out. They counted me out when I had stumbles throughout my childhood, but I went on to become a captain in the police department, a state senator, the first person of color to be borough president, and now I'm sitting here as the second person of color to be mayor. I feel the energy of the Knicks. I feel the energy of everyday working class people in the city. Never count us out. We're going to always succeed. We're resilient. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Mr. Mayor, I got to ask you one more question. So, Police Commissioner Tiff, she's doing a fabulous job. Let's talk about her right quick before you go, please.
Mm-hmm. So important to come in and bring and put your own signature on whatever administration you have. She's putting her signature on it. I think one of the most important initiatives is what she's doing is the quality of life team, 1,500 officers that are going to be focused and dedicated on dealing with quality of life issues. And this is not heavy-handed policing. No, it is treating our communities the way we want all communities. Abandoned vehicles removed, loud music playing, people injecting themselves with drugs in public, littering in our communities. You know, you can't play loud music, inject yourself with drugs, and have abandoned cars in front of Gracie Mansion, then you should not be able to do it on Mother Gaston Boulevard. We want to treat all of our communities the same, and I think that that's what she's looking at as she's continuing to bring down the large crimes. She wants to look at those quality of life issues, and that's important to me, and it's important to working class New Yorkers.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate you coming on the show once again. You got our vote all day, and anything we could do for you at the Beat 139, we here.
All right, my brother. Thank you. Be well.
Enjoy your day, Mr. Mayor.
You're listening to The Beat 139.